Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Monday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on the Zoom screen, as is typical of our world these days. I am sharing the Zoom screen today with Ashley Moslak. She is And Ashley, I joked with you before we started recording and said I was going to kind of introduce you and then let you explain who you are and what you do. But your email signature says you are a Veteran Employment Services Manager, and your email implies you work for the Virginia Employment Commission. So tell me who you are and why you're here.
All right, thank you, Janet. So my name is Ashley Moslak. I work for the Virginia Employment Commission, but I work for the Jobs for Veterans State Grant, which is a Department of Labor funded program. I am the Veterans Employment Services Manager for Winchester and the surrounding counties. I only really manage one person, Chris, who is our excellent case manager, but I manage mainly the program in that capacity. Really, my priority is working with employers in the region to try and promote hiring and retention of veterans. Chris works with veterans directly, and the two of us work together. There's one of us at least in every office. There's, I believe, 14 of us throughout the state.
And your program is funded through a grant, is that right? Or do I misunderstand that?
Yes, it's a Department of Labor funded program called Jobs for Veterans State Grant. And so we work for the Virginia Employment Commission, but the biggest thing that confuses people is I do not handle unemployment. So right now we are the only two in the office that are currently assisting job seekers and employers. And we're trying to do the best we can to help those that are trying to get back to work by doing various events, various training seminars. I teach a federal resume class, and we've been doing virtual events, hiring events. We did a YouTube video for how to rock a virtual job fair. And we've just been working with the partners to try and keep them aware of what our services are and what has changed since the shutdown. So what's changed primarily is obviously our office has been closed, but we have folks that are still in there processing claims and working on the back end of unemployment insurance. So we haven't been doing as much reemployment services, but we're still working very closely with Virginia Workforce, or Valley Workforce, who's one of our partners. So we work in the Virginia Career Work office. We're upstairs, but we are actually the Virginia Employment Commission. It's extremely confusing, but we rebranded, I believe, 2 years ago. And our focus is to try and keep people employed. And then, of course, we have the added responsibility of processing unemployment insurance claims, which right now are extremely high.
Well, it's got to be a catch-22 because so many people are being furloughed or being let go because businesses are closing and they're finding themselves in a situation where they're unemployed. But I don't think I know anybody who has ever been unemployed through no real fault of their own that has been happy about it and wanted to stay that way. So at least right. I would hope that you're busy too, because people are now exploring other options and looking for other ways to find new jobs.
There are so many different factors. One we talked about earlier, school, with the uncertainty of school closures, school openings, the challenge of the schedule, how do you tell an employer I can only come to work 2 or 3 days a week, and those 2 or 3 days may change. It's extremely challenging for parents. It's extremely challenging for those that are at risk who can't expose themselves to the public. So that's another thing. The unemployment insurance is seeing a lot of different types of claims. So for us to be able to help those individuals, it's very challenging because some are looking for remote work, which is not something that is very prevalent in this area. And some are looking for, maybe part-time so that they can work around their children's schedule. Again, not typically a high part-time employment in this area, especially because of all the manufacturing and production positions. And I think the biggest thing that we're trying to do is tell people, not to wait it out. A lot of people are hoping that their positions are going to come back available, but we see that there's definitely openings. As we'll talk about with the job fair, we have 57 employers. We've been doing job fairs. I want to say this is our 7th job fair we've done since the shutdown, and there's at least 20 employers on each event. So I know there are jobs out there. They just may not be the jobs that are conducive to everyone's schedule. So hopefully as things progress and life sort of returns to normal, we'll be able to help fill those jobs.
Are you seeing with working with some of the employers through the job fair, and as you mentioned, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but are you seeing that some employers are able in even little ways to accommodate some schedules, because so many people are looking to hire that it has become a tight job market to find good people to come work for you? So are you finding some of them are able to be a little flexible with the work schedule?
It really depends. We typically don't get too involved in that. That's usually the employer and the job seeker that discuss those details. I do know that a lot of them are, there are some that are working remote. Maybe federal, for example, I know has a lot of people working from home. But then there are some that there would be no way to do the job from home. So I think they're doing the best they can. They're making the most out of what they can. The challenge too, I've seen a lot of them is they want people to experience what the work environment is, and that's hard to do with shutdown. So there's actually been a couple that have reached out to a couple partners to see about doing a virtual tour so that they know what kind of work environment, work setting they're going into before they make that employment agreement.
And I think that might be a silver lining to COVID, because before that really wouldn't have ever been an option. You apply for the job, they offer you the job, you take the job and hope when you walk in the door that first day that it's what you thought it was going to be and that you're going to enjoy it. But now we have so many virtual options. Maybe that's a perk.
Yeah, they do. These businesses I'm speaking about, they already had done something similar prior to in a in-person setting. That was part of the interview process. They'd come in and see the facility and make sure it was a good fit, especially when there's conditions that might not be usual, like it's cold or you have to be on your feet all day or so on and so forth. And I think but you are right. There are a lot of virtual aspects that I don't know that will completely go away, hiring events being one of them. There's a lot to be said about the convenience of being able to sit at your desk and multitask while you're doing these events. Especially, I talked to another employer that said, do I have to be there the entire time? And the answer is no. If there's nobody in your booth, you can be doing other things. Whereas if you're at a real hiring event or to traditional in-person events, you go sit there for 6 hours and maybe only see 2 candidates, and that's 6 hours that are wasted. This is more convenient. Don't have to pack anything up. Don't have to bring any swag. You don't have to dedicate all that time. Hopefully, if you have a busy booth, then you'll be able to be there for the remainder of the event. But you don't have to necessarily throw that time away if there's not people visiting. So that's been convenient.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, can we talk about the virtual, it's the Shenandoah Valley Regional Virtual Hiring Event. It's happening this Thursday as people are listening to the show today, and job seekers can still sign up. They can still participate. It is wide open for them to look at some of this. So when we come back, can you tell me about some of the employers, some of the jobs, and how people can walk through getting themselves registered to attend that event that day?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we're going to do all of that when we come back. We are on the Zoom screen today with Ashley Moslak. She is with the Virginia Employment Commission, but we are talking about the Shenandoah Valley Regional Virtual Hiring Event. It is happening this Thursday, October 29th. It is a free event to attend. She's going to give us all the details for that when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Do you know anyone who is struggling with financial hardships because of coronavirus? Our new webinar called Coping with the Money Crunch can help. We'll talk about immediate options to consider, revising or creating a spending plan, and lots of community resources. Then we'll cover how to narrow your priorities, contact creditors, and avoid scams and risky loans. The webinar is free, and you can either join by phone or through Zoom on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can find out more by visiting the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program on Facebook or calling Karen Poff at 540-635-4549. Let me show you how to make your own plan or help someone you care about get through the crisis. Call 635-4549 or visit at NSV Financial Education on Facebook today.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Monday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on the Zoom screen. Ashley Moslak is here with us because, it's me and the puppies. And she is a Veteran Employment Services Manager with the Virginia Career Works that is part of Virginia Employment Commission. Your business card must be a billboard, Ashley.
It's very confusing. It's actually Virginia Employment Commission, a part of Virginia Career Works.
I had it backwards.
Partner of Virginia Career Works.
So in the first segment, we were talking a little bit about the different branches of sorts of the Virginia Employment Commission. We were talking before we went on the air about the fact that everybody still, to a certain degree, calls it the unemployment office. And it couldn't be further from the truth for that. I mean, a lot of people are dealing with unemployment right now because of the pandemic, but it's also a reemployment office. And that's why you guys are doing some of these job fairs, and you've had to kind of make them virtual now that we're in the middle of COVID-19.
We have done virtual job fairs throughout the Valley with Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation using Zoom, and we've done about 5 events with that. This will be our second event with Premier Virtual, and we plan to continue to use Premier Virtual. Not that there's a better platform one over the other. They're very different. Dr. Dave's platform is through Zoom, and there's breakout rooms, and it's in real time, and you move to from breakout room to breakout room to speak with employers. And these events are self-serving, so you can register for the event. When you go in the registration link, which I believe you'll have posted with this, you will sign up with your information. We recommend that you post a resume. It's not required. You can upload a cover letter or whatever you choose. And then when you register, there's a video on the registration landing page that talks about different steps to rock a virtual job fair. It's called 10 Steps to Rock a Virtual Job Fair. It's actually on our Virginia Employment Commission's YouTube channel. But once you register, the 27th, the jobs will start appearing. Where you'll see 3 different areas: Charlottesville, Harrisonburg, and Winchester. You click on the area that you want to discover. You can visit one or all 3. So you would click on that, and then you'll see the employers. As of today, we have 57 employers signed up. I won't read off all 57, but a few that are going to be pretty popular: Berry Global, Berryville Graphics, Cisco, Torrey, Valley Health, Virginia ABC, and then, like I said, several more. And those are split between the 3 areas. Some of them are hiring in multiple areas. So what you'll do is you'll go into the area, and you'll see all the companies, what we call booths, virtual booths. You'll click on that, and you'll be able to see their logo, their company name, and then their job openings. And you can review those job openings. And then if you choose, you can chat with the recruiter, and you can move to back and forth between rooms, chatting with the recruiters for however long you like. The event will be live from 1 to 6. That'll be when you can chat. But you can preview them starting October 27th. You just won't be able to chat with them until the 29th. We've had one event we did statewide back in July. We had over 1,000 people attend that, and we've been doing these throughout the state. There will be one in Hampton Roads on the same day. And you can find the job fairs by going to our website, www.bec.virginia.gov. At the top, under the tab Job Seekers, there's a link for job fairs, and you can find all the local and statewide job fairs.
And this is a great opportunity because people can go in tomorrow morning and take a look at all of the positions that all of these companies are offering. And then on Thursday, and kind of put their game plan together. And then on Thursday, kind of prioritize and say, okay, I'm going to go submit applications to these 6 places, but these 5 places, I want to speak to somebody and get more information or deal with them one-on-one in a virtual setting. And they'll be able to do all of that all in one day without using any gas, without, getting a babysitter, without walking around with their resume in their hand.
Right. That's why we highly recommend having a resume, because these employers will be able to see the resume, and they may reach out to them to extend an offer, to do follow-on interviews, discussions. So we really recommend that they put a resume together and upload that into their profile.
And resumes aren't nearly as complicated as people think they are. I think people hear the word resume and they think, oh, that's just, I don't have one of those. It's not much more than a job application. It's just you putting all of your information from your education to your work experience on a sheet of paper so that a potential employer can look at it and go, oh, they have this much education and this much job experience. They would be well suited for this particular position.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that is overthought. We actually have a resume builder on Virginia Workforce Connection. So we have a website, www.bawc.virginia.gov. And it's what most people are familiar with it because that's what you use to register and submit for unemployment. But what people don't realize is that is what we use for all of our job seekers. And we have employers that post positions with us. And then we also spider in jobs from Indeed and other sources. So if they wanted to get some assistance with their resume, they could go to that website and they can go through the resume builder, and they can export it as a document, a PDF, and it helps build that out for them.
Well, and it's perfect because you're here. This is airing on a Monday. The virtual job fair isn't actually until Thursday. So they've got a couple of days to still kind of put it together and get on the website and kind of build it themselves and be ready to go when Thursday at 1:00 rolls around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no charge for job seekers. They don't have to pay a registration fee. There's nothing on their end that would have any out-of-pocket expense.
Nope, there's no payment. They just have to do the registration and show up and be ready to meet with employers.
And be their best self. Yep. Now, what about employers this is being broadcast today on a Monday? Is it too late if a business is listening and says, well, wait, I've got jobs. I want to be included in this. Is it too late for them to participate in this particular event?
And not if they get with me by the end of today, get registered and get their jobs posted. That would totally be up to them. These events are free. And like I said earlier, we plan to continue doing them. So if this isn't feasible for their schedule, if they can't make it happen this quick of a turnaround, we do have additional events coming. Nothing scheduled yet, but we plan on having these even after the shutdown, if we ever reopen.
If we ever have large scale reopening.
I keep saying when this is over, I started to question if it'll ever be over. But I think we talked previously, this might be the new normal. We may continue to do virtual events to reach more people. And it's nice because Winchester office serves all the surrounding counties, Clark, Warren, Shenandoah, and Frederick, of course. And it's a lot easier to reach all the individuals in those adjacent counties by being able to do this virtually. We would otherwise have to do events in each respective county, which can get challenging. So
I was telling you earlier, too, that I love that this particular event on Thursday is also going to showcase jobs that are available in Charlottesville and Harrisonburg, because maybe somebody living in Winchester has decided they just want to completely make a change in their life and they want to move to Charlottesville or Harrisonburg. It's not always easy to go there and spend a weekend or a day finding a job first. So this gives them an opportunity to scope out other areas to make a career change and a resident change.
Yeah, absolutely. I would always suggest going to the other events as well. Like I mentioned, we have them go. Most of them have already taken place, but always go back to that website, keep an eye on, because we will be doing more events, especially if you're interested in relocating throughout the state. Like you said, it's very convenient to be able to go preview that and talk with someone before having to physically drive down there for an event.
So I will put the link to this particular job fair on the show notes page. But if somebody is in a position now where they are unemployed or are underemployed and are looking for a new position, you mentioned, where should they go on the Virginia Employment Commission website?
I mentioned 2 places, the Virginia Employment Commission website. They go to the job seekers tab. There's a job fairs. On the drop down, you would click on job fairs, and that'll show you all the job fairs. I also mentioned Virginia Workforce Connection, which is vawc.virginia.gov, and that's our job search portal. It actually has a lot more helpful information than I could probably go through in the time that we have, but you can see, one of my favorite things about that is you can see what's called labor market information. So you mentioned moving across the state. You can actually see which jobs are in high demands, what the typical salary range is for the area, and a lot of more information with what the typical requirements are for these positions, what the education requirements are for what if they're high demand, if they're low demand, if there's a lot of people that are looking, and some pretty interesting statistics. So that's probably very underutilized, but
Now's the time.
Our office remains to be closed to the public, but there are a lot of resources for Virginia Career Works, so I will share their website as well. It's vcwvalley.com, and they have a live chat feature. So their counselors are working strictly on reemployment services and job service. Like I said earlier, most of our folks are working on handling unemployment claims, so they're not taking phone calls or emails at this time. But I am working primarily with employers, and then our program continues to serve the veterans in this area. And we've opened these events up to everyone. I don't want there to be some confusion when they hear the word veteran. These events are open to the public. Of course, we encourage veterans to attend, but these events are open to the public.
Awesome. Well, I will put all the information up on the show notes page. People can go there and get all of it. And Ashley, thank you for coming to my rescue of sorts at a last minute reschedule. And literally 2 seconds after I read that email, your email with the press release for this came through. So this was perfect timing. So I'm glad we could make it work.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'll be back tomorrow. It is Tourism Tuesday on the airwaves, so meet me back here just a few minutes after noon, and I will have that show ready to go for you.